Hey Harmony.
Hey Leilani.
I have thoughts. Do you have thoughts?
I have thoughts as well, and together
We have thoughts. Here on We Have Thoughts, we'll be sharing our reviews on theatre shows in Brisbane.
We'll be taking you guys across the city from theatre to theatre, genre to genre, with a new guest each episode. Our guest for today is
Annabel Gilbert. Our episode today will cover our review on the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee by Brisbane Arts Theatre.
Let's get started, shall we? Hey guys, quick content warning for this episode. We will be talking about some major plot points of the show, as well as mentioning some mild sexual themes and mentions of abuse regarding middle school aged children.
So Bris Arts Theatre is a local amateur theatre company here in Brisbane. It was founded in 1936 and this was all of our first times attending the venue.
Yes ma'am, yes ma'am.
It was cute.
Really cool
It was
venue,
really
actually.
cool.
Like the inside of the auditorium had these really cool walls that kind of are a bit like
it was very Greek.
Yeah, like walls kind of looked like they could have been made out of mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
It was really nice. It was like
Give
a
me
really
a fork.
cute
I want to
venue.
dig in. Right, so we should probably get into what the show's about. And Annabelle, since you've been in it, first-hand experience, why don't you tell us what it's all about?
Yeah, way back when I was a little child, well, 16 or
15?
something. Yeah, I was actually in the show. And so it's an eclectic group of 6 mid-prepubescents vice for a spelling bee championship of a lifetime enter into this regional competition where they pretty much have to spell. And it's like all of these super zany characters. The first act, you get to know them, and they seem kind of like they're just like these clear stereotypes. Yeah. But as the show goes on, you kind of find out they've all got like a real reason why they want to win.
There's,
and
why they are
passion.
the way they are.
Yeah, and they've all got deeper backstories than you would initially think from these like first impressions of these like silly little guys.
Yeah, and what fuels them to be so into winning the spelling bee.
Yeah.
Oh, and you meet the teachers who are running the spelling bee.
Yeah, I love the teachers.
And Mitch Mahoney. Mitch Mahoney. Sorry. sorry, Mitch.
The guy from prison who's doing his community service and is giving everybody juice boxes when they leave.
He's a comfort counselor.
Yeah,
or
comfort
something he's
counsellor.
called. It's really funny.
Harmony, would you like to tell us about the set?
I would love to tell you about the set. So, we got there. The curtains are open, which was nice. And they had done a really good job of actually making it feel like a school gym. Like, good attention to detail.
I think it also helped that like the stage looked like a high school stage.
Yeah, they could like
was-
lean
it
into
was so local.
the actual geography of the space and use it to their advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was like a little grandstand thing that they all sat on, like while they're waiting for their turn. There was a little podium in the back for the first, second, third place winners. And my favourite part was the basketball hoop that just sat in the corner.
Yeah.
Absolutely useless. Not used once in the show,
Yeah,
but you know
and the rope.
And
I
so
wish
did
they
the
had
rope.
used the
Yeah.
rope. I feel like we could probably get into this later, but I feel like they could have used those set pieces.
Yeah.
Especially when like all chaos breaks loose. I would have loved to see them.
And same with like the microphone right in the middle of the stage. That's meant for like when the spellers have to go up and say their word, they go up to the microphone. And spoiler alert, Harmony and I were one of the spellers. And I went up to go speak in the mic because I got my name wrong. So I went to be like, it's actually Leilani. But it wasn't on. So it just looked like I went up and like mumbled something and then walked away. And I was like, that's so embarrassing.
I
for
feel
me.
like in fairness though, that kind of leans into like how I feel like they want to make a fool out of the audience members. So it kind of works out well for them.
So true. I think that they made quite a good use of the space, given that it's like actually it was quite a small stage. And it would have been, if they had more room, I think that they could have done some really interesting things for some of the numbers.
And it helps that it's only centered around that one like location. Like it wasn't like someone has like things at home, so they have to show what it's like at home. It was all happened in the one spelling bee competition.
I love a one-stop shop for
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a setting for
So
a
they
show.
so they were really able to like bring everything that they needed to that one set because they weren't having to like change it
Yeah.
anywhere else. And if they did it by like lighting.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to talk about. I think anytime there was like flashback or imaginary moment where they like talked about the characters' like home life, they used lighting in such an effective way where it was like everything went green when they were talking about like Leaf, the like little kid who's just like really dumb but is so excited to be there. Like everything would go green and like you'd hear his mum yelling at him and stuff and you'd be like, oh, and then it would suddenly like snap back and it would be like back in the present moment. That was
Same
really
with-
effective.
Yeah, same with a lot of spotlights. It would be like if you're in the spotlight and everyone else was in the darkness, that means that this person is in their head or like in their own world.
Yeah.
So I think that was really effective.
So something really interesting happened when I got to the theatre. I'm talking pre-show, baby. So I rock up. There's 7 minutes to the show starting. Annabel and I get there 7 minutes to the show. Leilani is waiting there with our director Gabriel, and she hands me a little laminated card, and she goes,
Surprise! Guess who's now Speller? Because earlier, before you guys came, it was just Gabriel and I. I thought the show started 45 minutes earlier than it did. So we were like the first ones there, and we were like waiting. And this lady comes around, and it's like, so we're missing some spellers for the spelling bee. Like, does anyone want to join in? And then I was like, I feel like I have to. Like, we've got to, right? Like,
You're like, say less.
I was like,
it's
oh
my time
God, like,
to shine.
I'm such a bad speller, but like for the potty, I've got to do it. So, for the potty. And then so I was like, oh, I can. And then she walked over and I was like, also, can I put a friend's name down? And she was like, yeah, we'd love extra spellers. And I was like, ha ha ha. Sorry, Harmony.
so then Leilani and I, at the start of the show, when they like, they brought all the characters out and then went, we're missing a few spellers, and then called all of our fucking names, and then I had to shuffle past a family with a baby in the aisle to get up to the front. And then we all had to sit on stage, and we were on stage the entire first act. Well, I was on stage
so
the entire first act.
I was making a joke before you guys came. I was like, oh, what's the bet? I'm going to be out first and Harmony's going to win. Surprise, that did actually happen. I was out first. I forgot what my word
They gave you
was.
a word like ventriloquian.
Yeah,
Something
and I
stupid.
It's a hard word,
I
man.
forgot what my word was halfway through. That's why I couldn't do it. And then they rang the bell and they were like, we won't even bother like letting you continue the word. Get off the stage.
They're like, don't
And,
hurt
like,
yourself.
Gave you a juice box for your
yeah, and
troubles.
then Mitch, whatever, comes and takes me off stage.
Juice boxes were yummy, though.
Yeah. So I was off first and then went back to the audience, but Harmony ended up being there through like 5 song and dances because she was
They spun me around, bitch. There's a musical number. Shit's going crazy because life is pandemonium.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. And they're like spinning around the bleachers and shit that we're sitting on, and I'm just like, whoa, guys, it's crazy. I'm getting dizzy. And it was just fucking absurd. It was so absurd. And also, to be honest, look, all of the other audience members, how many were there? Like 5?
the 4 of us.
Yeah,
Four?
four
Yeah,
up
4
there.
of us.
Everyone, as you would, as a regular audience member, just went up, just spoke how you would, right?
Harmony decided to put on a performance. She gets up there, she's speaking with an American
and in
accent.
true drama student fashion.
She's like, I'm going to make this about me now.
I gotta do it. And I feel like at that point they went, well, she's so dedicated, we can't
We
kick
have
her
to.
off yet.
And then they go, your word is Mexico. And I'm down there. I've
Mexican?
lost. Oh, Mexican. I've like lost my round by Van Trillion. And I was like, are you kidding me? You get Mexican.
And also jihad. I got jihad. That's not an
A few
Oh,
difficult
yeah.
ones.
I don't know.
It's so clever the way they use the audience members though, because it's like so vital to the plot. It's always depending on the order you get picked up. Because a bit of insight, being one who's looked at the script, has been in the show before. Yeah, they do it in a specific order. So there's always one person who starts getting easier words. So then all the other spellers, the actual characters, start getting pissed, and it leads into that song "Life Is Pandemonium" because they're like, "What the hell? I'm spelling this crazy ass word, and you've got Mexican. This is so unfair. Everything's so unfair."
and they're like, life is pandemonium.
Yeah, they burst out into song, and it's just chaos.
The lights are going berserk.
But it was really fun being up there. And like, because they would like tap you on the shoulder and be like, hey, do you want to, what number are you? I'm number 45.
Yeah.
And they'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, hi.
The
I'm
characterization was crazy. They were in character the entire time.
They were really good.
Yeah,
It
all
was
of the actors
fantastic.
have to be like such strong improv people because they're just always on. They're always talking. When there's like a live audience component involved, it means anything could happen. You could get a bitch who decides she's going to be American and they've got to roll with it. They've just got to be ready to do what they do.
Yeah.
And like they all did such a good job of that.
They did a really good job, especially spoiler alert. One of them, Chip, gets a raging boner while he's about to spell a word because he sees a girl in the audience and he's like, I can't spell my word.
He sees Leaf's sister. Yeah, one of the other characters.
And his word is tit up. And he's like, I'm fucking sorry, what?
Yeah, and then the principal goes, tit up, tit up, tit up, tit up. Like really leans it in.
Yeah. And then, oh my God. And then the teacher came over and started like adjusting the microphone like she was giving it a fucking hand job. It was hilarious.
They really leaned into the sexual aspect of this show. I've like seen this done before and they leaned into it so much more. They were like unafraid to be like, oh yeah, this is sexual. Like there's a reason why the children in this show are all played by adults, because if they were real kids, you could not do this shit.
But watching it for the first time, I didn't really pick up on that. I just thought it was like funny and just like horny humor. And I was like,
it's like always horny, but this production amped
They were
it
like,
up.
by the way, he's fucking rock hard under that helmet, guys.
And even in like Magic Foot, the song where one of the characters is like talking about his like his technique, how he spells something with his foot on the ground. He was like dancing on the microphone like a pole dance moment. I was like, damn, Magic Foot. What else is magic? You got a magic body. Oh my God.
But yeah, during the erection part, Leaf, who was sitting behind me, taps me on the shoulder and he's like, what's going on? Do you know what's happening? And I'm like, I think he's had an accident. And he goes, what kind of accident? And I went, something penis related. And he went, oh no. Which is really funny.
and Leaf is just like a hilarious character because they've got like a helmet on with like
they
all
make
these
their own clothes.
DIY helmet and like a cape and just like so excited to do everything, but then like goes up to the mic and then goes to start speaking and just like wait, you would do it so much better than
they
I
can
would,
only
God.
they're always like,
first word was
I have
chinchilla.
no idea how to spell this word. I've never even heard of this word. C-H-I, and like they're just suddenly overcome by this trance, and like the lighting changes, their eyes like go like
bug eye.
yeah, they like gloss over.
And then as soon as they finish spelling the word and they're
just
like,
like,
that is correct, he's like, oh my God, I didn't even know.
It's so good. Like
great.
the physicality and the lighting, everything worked together so well just to achieve this whole like out of world, out of body, like the word is coming out of me experience.
Yeah.
It was sick.
It was awesome.
Did anyone have any like critiques for first act?
I think that the gentleman who played Mr. Buffet, he's a lot older than the other members of the cast.
And Mr. Buffet, for some context, is like this like what is it called? Like a bowl cut.
Yeah.
Like big.
He's the one with the magic foot.
Really awkward.
always just sat like cross-armed and like
got
speaks
a
like
mucus
this and,
problem.
like,
Yeah, he's got a mucus problem. But yeah, I think that like his accent wasn't as strong as some of the other performers because he was going for like a really distinct kind of, speech pattern where he's like, I know, I am, it's buffet. That's spot on.
That was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It was like a really effective character choice, but at moments it was like, what are you saying though?
And I was
Yeah.
like, but that's an Australian man.
And then having
Yeah.
to sing in that voice,
Yeah.
of course it's going to get a bit
Yeah,
lost.
I think there could have been like a better balance between finding the character voice and like not sacrificing
But I
being
will,
out of here what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I will
true.
say, for like community theatre, like I was thoroughly and like I enjoyed that. Like I had
Yeah.
a good time. I didn't actually pick up on many things that I was like, oh, that really could have been done
Yeah.
better. I was just like, oh, this was fun.
For some added context, obviously, like we're drama students, so we spend a lot of time looking at like plays and maybe film if we're lucky. So we don't spend a lot of time in like the musical theatre genre. I know
Realm.
that Annabel,
Back in high school, I
Back in
did
the
my
day.
fair share, but
yeah, and like I'm a personal musical theatre fan, but I acknowledge that it's like much.
Yeah.
It's difficult in different ways.
Yeah.
Than live theatre.
Yeah, and there could have been
Typically
things that didn't go right, but like I don't have the brain that could have seen it because I haven't been wired to look at musical theatre and critique that. Like if you showed me a play, like I could probably critique that. But musical theatre, I don't
And
know,
we
it was
have.
just fun. Yeah, it was just fun.
I do kind of wish that some of the choreography in Pandemonium, I feel like they could have gone a bit crazier with it.
Absolutely.
Like it started to get there towards the end, but like that rope and the basketball thing we mentioned in the back, I feel like that would have been such a great opportunity to use those bits of set in that song. Like I wish somebody had like swung on the rope. I wish they'd thrown like paper into the hoop or something. But that being said, it did have the great moment where they like flipped the whole like seats and the audience members were still on them and they're like, what the fuck? And like that was really effective. And I wish we had more big moments like that in that song to really drive it home.
Was that also the one where they made... Sorry, I can't remember. Is that the one they made us, like, get up and they're like, now you have to dance here?
Oh.
Yeah, they forcefully, they were like, okay, Leaf was my guide. Leaf was like, okay, you're going to have to get up and dance in a second. And I was like, what? And then they, like, dragged me by the shirt and they're like, dance, monkey, dance. And, like,
But the thing is, you did so well, and Harmony was just like, "Oh, dance, okay," and then just was like, "Oh, oh, oh," and like just like,
Maybe I was
ate
having
it
too
up.
much fun.
Yeah.
No, but that's like the point of the whole show. It's like purely just to have fun. Like it's such a
Yeah.
joyful show, especially in Act 1. It's just like so silly and full of life. I
Yeah.
love it.
Sure.
Act 1, silly fun. Act 2, they have horrible home lives.
Yes, let's get into it. Let's find about their past.
I will say though, like, I don't know how it was for you, but like, I felt like having the audience member up there for the entire Act 1. I don't know if that was like necessary or not, because they had like actual cast members being kicked off before the audience members were.
I
and was
do
like,
trust
get
that
it,
is part
but
of the show.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a choice that they made. I think that's probably in the book.
yeah.
Speaking of which, so Chip gets eliminated because he can't think because he
Which is
hasn't.
a big shocker as well because
Yeah.
he won last year.
I know.
Yeah.
Insert gasp. And his unfortunate erection distracts his
Title of the
mind.
song.
Yeah, I know. I'm name dropping all of them. He leaves, and then my last word was some sort of Chinese lottery. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
A pack of poo.
Yeah.
Oh.
I did not spell it right. And then I was like, okay. So every time that one of the audience members leaves, and Chip as well, everyone on the stand sings this song.
Goodbye, you were good, but not good enough.
Thank you, Annabel.
Little
They do
musical
that.
moment.
They wave you off, and Mitch Mahoney gives you a little juice box and escorts you off the stage.
But you've got to also stand there for an awkwardly long amount of time.
Yeah,
They
quite
really
a bit.
wave at you for so long.
Like at least a minute, nearly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm expecting that when I get it wrong. I'm expecting that. I'm standing there. No, because there is an entire musical number where
You're
they.
the last one, baby.
I
You
was-
you really get the works.
Let me tell you, they were the works.
They pulled it out.
Because I'm like, okay, it's time to leave. So I turn to go. They do it several times. They go, yep, it's time for you to go. Nope, where are you going? Stay here. And it's just really funny and a bit awkward.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious. And I got a really nice juice box at the end.
I was kind of jealous I didn't get a juice box, honestly.
Damn.
I was like, damn.
I could have given mine to you.
I know, I would have loved that.
Sorry.
Sweet. So Act 2 kicks off. Well, actually, in the interval, you go out and everybody's having their chat, and then one of the characters comes out and he's starting to sell lollies.
It's Chip.
It's Chip. Shocker. He's being forced to do it because he's been kicked out. And so then when we go back in, he enters through the back. He's still selling his lollies. And eventually he breaks out into the opening song, My Unfortunate Erection. He has this whole big lament where he's like, oh, I can't believe my boners ruined my chances. This is so horrendous. This is so unfair. And now I have to sell this candy. And it's such a great song. It is so much fun.
Very, very funny.
I do wish that they'd had a bit more choreography there again as well. But
Yeah.
that being said, this was the understudy playing this role as well. So I wonder if we'd seen the lead actor if there had been more organized moments.
Yeah.
But it kind of felt like he was just on stage and he was told to improv. That being
Yeah.
said, such like a funny song. So like the way it's written, you can get away with improv and it will
Yeah.
look spectacular. But I feel like if they'd had more moments where they match the physicality to the words, they could have gotten even funnier.
Yeah.
But that's me being nitpicky. So
No, being nitpicky.
Wow.
That was honestly one of my biggest takeaways. I think like one of my big things was like it didn't feel like there was very much control, and I don't know if that was in the structure or whereabouts I was feeling the lack of control. But I don't know, I feel like when characters are trying to be really funny and really big and like hilarious and loud, But instead, you're kind of watching them and you're like, oh my God, I'm actually scared for someone's safety. And they're going to knock someone's eye out, or they're going to like hurt themselves or fall down the stairs.
Yeah.
I was feeling that a lot more in Act 2. Like, who's the guy that...
Buffet.
Buffy. I think he was my biggest offender of that, because like there was like the scene, spoiler alert, he wins and he gets the big check and he has to like run down the stairs. But instead of it being like, haha, funny, I was like, oh my God, he's going to fall over the stairs and hurt himself.
He was not a small man. Like, he's quite, you know,
he's a fully
He's a
grown
full-grown
adult.
a sizable grown adult who was like walking, like,
Yeah.
I want to say walking through the aisle, but like kind of stumbling through the aisle and like sitting on
has
people's
like
laps
a big
and shit.
check that's like a meter long with like all these pointy edges, and I was like, oh my God, like he's
Gonna
not
take someone's fucking eye out.
aware of like who is around him right now.
Yeah.
To rewind back to the start.
Anyway, yeah, sorry, we're getting
I
ahead
know,
of
yeah,
ourselves.
So you go from My Unfortunate Erection, it reopens the whole show. You're like, damn, I'm back in this again. And then suddenly all of these silly characters you've grown to know and love you start getting to know them a bit better. You start hearing about their backstories more. So by this point, you already have kind of figured out that Leaf, he's like this ADHD kid who his parents have kind of pretty much told him he's dumb his whole life. And then he gets kicked out. And it's heartbreaking.
It's very sad.
But he has this whole beautiful song where he's like, I know I'm like smart now. Like, I didn't need to win. I'm just happy to be here and I feel proud of myself. And you're like, oh, so beautiful. And then you've got this story with Olive where like her dad's still not here. You find out her mum is like away in India. And she has this whole, it's beautiful. There's like, she's told to spell this word that means imaginary, not at all real, entirely fictional. And it starts going into this song where it pretty much says her parents' love for her is imaginary, not entirely real, and completely fictional. And it's like, we just saw a song about some guy having an erection, and now you're talking about this little girl's parents who don't love her.
It's also implied that her father abuses her.
Yes. It's like, it's kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's like such like a tonal shift from Act 1, but it's done in such like a clever way that you're suddenly like, oh wow, oh, I care about these characters and I'm sad for them now.
And also, the girl who played Olive had a beautiful voice. Stunning voice.
She was great for that role, because you really like, she was just such a small little like petite girl that it was just like, you just like cared for her. And when she was like opening up about all her family, like you couldn't help but just be like, oh, like that sucks, because you seem like you just deserve the world.
Yeah, it's very Matilda coded.
Yeah. Yeah, her best, there's like a whole song where she talks about her best friend is the dictionary, and like her and Buffet bond over like doing these like funny little word games where they like rearrange the letters and words, and it's like these two kids who are clearly like usually weird and bullied suddenly find this connection of being weird and
to the point where
together.
like they're going head to head at this. Spoiler alert, they're head to head at the end, and Buffet like has a second where he goes, "Do I let her win? Do I spell this word wrong and do I let her win?" He doesn't. Fair enough, because he knows how to spell. But it's sweet because this whole time he's like, "I know that's correct," and then like sits down. And he's like, he's like, "Fuck off! I'm smarter than you." But at this point, like, you know, he cares about someone at least equal to or more than himself.
Yeah.
Which is really beautiful.
All the characters did that really well. Like, we began to care about all of them, that it was to the point where I was like, I don't actually know who I want to win, because all of them have... Yeah, Leave I would have been really happy if they won. But yeah, it was like, I kind of like didn't know who was going to win, but like I didn't really mind. I didn't think Buffet was going to win. And I don't know if I was like extremely happy about that, but like I feel like there was just other ones where it's like you really got to like know the character, and it would have been really satisfying to be like, yes, you take home that check. But actually, do you want to explain the runner-up situation?
Yeah. Okay, so pretty much the whole time Olive is waiting for her dad, and she gets a call from her dad, and he pretty much says like he's still not going to make it, and you know, Buffet wins, and he gets a check prize from the optometrist.
Yeah.
And then the vice principal who is assisting with the spelling bee goes, actually this year we're also doing a cash prize for the runner-up of, he opens his wallet, $25, and he hands it to Olive. And he's also been trying to get with the teacher, Miss Peretti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been trying to get with Miss Peretti the entire time. And so he gives this small child $25, and Olive comes up to Miss Peretti and she goes, Miss Peretti, I can pay the entry fee now. And I damn nearly cried.
It's so sweet.
when that happened. And then, it's kind of insinuated that he maybe gets laid. And then you find out later that she took a restraining order out on him. So I don't really know what the business is there, but it's a really, really heartfelt moment.
Yeah, it was cute.
We also learn a lot more about the one with the lisp.
Logan Schwartzengruber. That's who I played way back when.
Absolutely.
I had to wear a blonde wig, and I got nits from the wig. It was horrendous.
Fucking story of
Oh
the
my
nits.
god, it was so bad.
But yeah, Logan.
She's this
Logan.
No, not the Logan.
Sigma.
Yeah. No, so she's this kind of try hard wannabe girl. She speaks with a lisp. She's
Super
got
nerdy.
2 gay dads. She's the president of the LGBT club at her school. She's got so much pressure on her to do well, coming from her fathers who just really want her to be.
Who are like those kinds of gay dads.
They just really want her to do their best,
And it's like, you have free time. Why are you not studying?
they kind of want to
the
live through
dictionary?
her success.
Yeah.
And yeah, so she has this whole moral moment where her dads ask her to cheat by spilling Coke on the floor,
to
like
ruin
a Coca-Cola.
Buffet's magic foot.
Yeah, so Buffet's magic foot will get sticky and ruin it. And that works, but then Buffet learns that he can spell without his foot. And then Logan learns that she doesn't have to cheat to win, and she doesn't have to win. She can just try her best, and that's all that matters.
And that's good enough.
Yeah. She has this whole song, Woe Is Me, Woe Ith Me, if you will. And it's like when she gets kicked out, she's like, I hope you still love me, America. And yeah, I think from her character, you had in Act 1, I would have loved to see a bit more of her insecurity come through because her main arc is that she's got all of this pressure on her. And I think the actor did a really good job of portraying her more stereotypical side, but I would have loved to see a bit more of that depth come through.
Yeah.
I feel like that could go for almost all the characters because they all had something going on in their home life, but in the Act 1 it was very much just we're all kids for the spelling bee, and then in the Act 2 it was with an abusive family and I have no choice but to be in the spelling bee.
Yeah.
So it was
I do think Olive really
Yeah, I was
did
going to
that
say, I think
balance
Olive did
well.
a really good job.
she had a
Yeah.
really great through line throughout the entire piece.
yeah, but as you said, it would have been really nice to see some bubbling in some other characters. So then when it was and this is what their life looked like, it'd be
Oh, that explains this
That
and that.
explains why
Yeah.
they're so competitive and why they so am after this trophy.
I think it's really funny that, how do you say her name? Logan?
Logan, yeah.
Logan is has so much pressure on her to win and do well at things that she gets incredibly stressed out and can't function. But I don't know what the other girl's name is. The one
Marcy.
Marcy.
Who
She's
sings
boosted up several
yeah.
grades and she speaks 8 languages?
6 languages.
6 languages.
6 languages.
Sorry, I'm overshooting her languages. And she's just naturally good at so
Yeah.
much shit. And she's like, you know what? I'm fucking tired of being good. I'm going to misspell this word on purpose because I don't feel like winning.
Yeah.
She's like, it's not fun for me to win because it's so easy,
Yeah.
which is hilarious. And I really liked that she just got to let
Yeah.
go as well. And she was also understudied when we went and saw it.
Yeah. You could feel the freedom in a way. When she was I bummed this word, give me the word dog. It's XYVSP. And they were wrong. And then she was yes, I know. And it was
She's
go
I knew that
you.
word.
It's finding that you don't have to be perfect all the time.
Yeah, which was really nice.
It's good. From a former gifted child. It was quite nice. Former, no longer gifted. So the last person that we really need to discuss in depth is pretty crucial to the show, I would say. It's Miss Peretti.
She was so nice. She was actually the one that came and asked me to be a speller as well in the pre-show.
Yeah.
She was a lovely lady. She was also so freaking talented.
Yeah, she had an incredible voice. I love that it the show opens with her coming out and it's like Mrs. Peretti spells Syzygy, and she comes out and she's like Syzygy. Oh my god! It's like you learn that she was once a speller, which is why she cares so
She's
much
so
about this
passionate
kid.
about
She's
it,
like,
yeah.
I've been in this position once. She is constantly trying to live through them as well.
She really, really cares about this movie, like almost more than they do, which was really nice. But yeah, she had wonderful vocal quality and a really, really nice vibrato.
Yeah, she was a very strong singer.
Which is good because she also, in Olive's song, where she's talking about her mum, who's gone on a spiritual journey to India for 9 months or whatever, and her dad, blah, 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 Miss Peretti is like kind of like a stand-in for the mum. You don't see the mum, so, you know, it's a kind of a double.
Yeah, it's like during the
casting
song,
situation.
Miss Peretti kind of just walks out as the mum, but like
Such a
you
beautiful
just don't
song,
really
that
see
one.
her face.
And it was, I think you have to have quite a strong vocal skill to be able to pull off that
That's
song
the
anyway.
most complex song in the musical for sure. It's like it's like the three vocals overlapping. There's some pretty complex harmonies. And it's like also probably the most like emotionally charged song, I'd say, as well.
Annabelle has wept to it before.
I've wept!
I've wept. Speaking of vocal quality, we should talk about, you know, just in general, it's a musical, so, you know, just as a general note, how did we feel about...
I thought all of the singing was quite impressive.
I
The
was
harmonies were
thoroughly
really good.
impressed.
And I think for amateur musical theatre, it can really be such a hit or miss. But honestly, I thought they hit it. I thought they served.
Because even if I didn't think the singing was good, they were at least singing in character, and that same with like Marfay, like he was like I can't remember his singing, but
They all committed to the bit.
like he would still be doing it in that like voice, but it doesn't mean it was bad because that was his character. Like his character probably wasn't going to be the best singer.
I feel like I should also mention the guy that played Chip when we saw it was the understudy, and I think if I had to point out anyone, it would probably be him because in My Unfortunate Erection, it wasn't that it was bad. I was just like scared for his vocal cords because it felt like, you know, maybe he hadn't like warmed up properly. So a song that was clearly not in his exact range.
It's quite a virtuoso song as well.
Yeah.
Like you be riffing and shit talking about this man's dick.
Yeah,
And I was just worried. I was like, fuck that poor guy. Like it just sounded like he was straining himself. And I was like, it's okay. Don't hurt yourself now. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I think that everyone did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Additionally, Logan had a really lovely voice as well.
And like I know I've already talked about Olive's voice, but I was just like
so
surprised as well though, because the girl that like played her, she was so cute and little, but like her voice was just so strong that I was like, I just didn't expect this little girl to have such power.
Which is good because that's exactly
for sure, which is
like
what you need.
It serves
how the
itself to the
character
character so much.
needs to be.
Question time. Harmony.
Yes.
If you were to hug, punch, or go get a drink with one of the characters in the show, who would it be?
I would hug Leaf so tenderly. I would punch probably Chip because he deserves it, I think. And I would get a drink with Miss Peretti because I think she'd get real loose after a couple of wines.
Peretti would be so fun.
For sure. Leilani, if this production was a food, what food would it be?
I think it would be like a ham, cheese, and lettuce on like white bread sandwich, just because it's such like a school lunch. It's such a school lunch, and like I imagine that like all of them would have their own like sandwich to pull out of the bag at any time during that performance.
A little bit of mayo on it?
Yeah.
Surely with a juice popper to drown the whole thing down.
It's actually
wash it down.
The food that it is a school lunch.
Yes, it's school lunch. And Annabelle, would you take family members to the show, and if so, which one?
Yes, I think it's such a family show. I would take my elder sister Megan. she would just be so excited and she would relate so much to Leaf's character. She would be like, oh my God, he's just like me.
Are you saying your sister's dumb?
No, my sister makes her own clothes and has ADHD.
Oh, so
You know what? Fair enough.
yeah,
And she
it's
probably likes chinchillas.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for the rating.
Rating time.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Annabelle, why don't you start us off? Out of 5 letters, SPELL, I guess.
So smart.
What would you rate the show?
I really enjoyed it. I think they did exactly what they set out to do. I think it was joyful. I think it was fun. And I think they did a really good job. And for those reasons, I would give it an SPEL out of spell. So 4 out of 5.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll go.
Oh, yeah. Leilani, what did you think of the show and what would you rate it?
I really liked it as well. I think that was great. Like, it was honestly, they were all very talented and did very well for just like a community theatre. I would also give it like an SPEL and then half, like
A
half an L.
4.5, if you will.
Yeah, 4.5. I think it's like we ended on such a really like positive show. Like it didn't try to have really like dark themes, which of course is really important, but like sometimes it can be just like a lot mentally to watch a whole bunch of like dark stuff back to back.
Yeah.
So it was really good to see just like some fun like spelling, and us to be involved in it as well was just really like fun.
Yeah.
What about you, my girl?
I would give it an SPEL, which is about like a 4.3. I would say
Yeah.
4.3. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Being part of it was super fun. And yeah, again, like for amateur community theatre, I think they really knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
They did not get paid, and yet they gave it their all.
Yeah.
They were up there like they were getting paid.
It was for the passion.
Passion.
Oh. I wasn't here for that episode.
Thank you so much for listening to my thoughts.
And my thoughts as well.
I also had some thoughts.
Oh my god! And thanks for listening to them. An extra special thank you to our lovely guest for this episode, Annabel Gilbert.
Yippee! Thanks for having me, guys.
And if
Absolutely.
you want any more of us, you can find us at blathersky.pod on Instagram.
And Annabel, you know, while we still have you here, is there anything that you've got coming up as an emerging creative?
Yes, girly. I've got 2 projects coming up in October. From the 19th to the 21st of October at La Boîte Theatre, Bug House will be playing. I've written that work and I'm very excited for it to go on. I'm really proud of it and I'm super stoked. And then on the 28th of October, as a part of Backbone Festival, the Awaken Festival, I believe it's called, I have been directing Theatre Punk's work in progress showing of Medea, the Witch of Corinth.
Ooh la la!
Oh my god, give her a round of applause.
Annabelle.
I stay working, I stay grinding. I try.
We stay hungry, we devour.
Yeah, girl.
And we've also, Brisbane Arts has some more shows coming up at the end of this year. Our next one that we've got running from, I'm not part of Brisbane Arts. Their next one is from the 14th of October to the 25th of November, and that's called Monstrous Regiment.
Wow.
Looks pretty sick, look pretty spooky. And then their last show of the year from the 9th till the 31st of December, 9th of December till the 31st of December, is Ebenezer, which looks like a Christmas carol tale.
They're so festive. Halloween and
Yippee.
Christmas.
I know.
Sticking to a theme.
Anyway, that's all for this episode.
That's all of our thoughts. Thank you so much for
Thank
listening,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.